Leading up to the weeks to final shape, for every week you're going to be able to earn a material called wish tokens. Now, wish tokens are once per account per week. They're not character account based. They're not character based where you can earn, where you could say earn three, which is a misstep. It should have been three per week, in my opinion. But it's one, and they are offering raid quality weapons without you having to raid. So there's some value in that, and they're giving players a bone with that. The reason why this is so important if you haven't filled these red borders in for these weapons is because some of these weapons from the last wish, some of them are the best in slot in the game. They're that meta defining, some of the best in slot. For examples, Apex Predator, the best solar rocket in the game. The Supremacy, arguably the best kinetic sniper in the game. Chatter and Bone, one of the best kinetic pulse rifles in the game. Nation of Beast, one of the best arc hand cannons in the game, and so on and so forth. Every single weapon's good, even the auto. And the bow's insane, Tyranny of Heaven. So, how do you go about farming these? Well, I've made videos about this in the past, but because of what the mods are this season, I've discovered or reminding myself, I suppose, how easy the farm will be to actually farm the red border weapons. So if you want to go ahead and farm your wish tokens up, it's going to be a slow process, and this is more for players who are just filling in the gaps. Say you're 4 out of 5 for Apex Predator. Quickly go and do a wish token quest, and you'll get that finished. That's what this is designed for. But if you've got none of these, or barely any, forget about it. Go and do the solo farm. Now, the farms that are going to happen on these dates, if I just get these dates up. So on the 5th of March, Last Wish is going to be farmable, team or solo, but it's going to be arguably really easy solo as well for most players to complete because of the mods that I'm going to show you coming up. And then the next one after that will be April 23rd. So mark those dates on your calendars if you haven't finished any of these red border patterns. I own every one. I mean, look, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You're going to need 40 red border weapons, right? Just to get everything. That's a lot. So instead of doing the wish tokens, if you just want to fill in gaps, fair enough. But if you want to seriously solo farm it, then that's what this video coming up is going to be about. Before I show you the footage of the Kalli solo, which I know most of you are just going to want to skip to that. Fair enough, do that. That's why the video is timestamped. It's designed for you to skip to the part that you want. But if you're unsure on any detail at all about this farm, then you might struggle. So that's why I'm going to take you through it exactly. So the mods that are important this season to make this farm even easier than what it used to be are as follows. So you want Revitalize and Blast on, right? Overload Rockets does enhance it, I believe, even when you're not up against Overload champions and stuff. So just have that on anyways, right? So those two mods and Solo Operative. There are other solar mods, but we're not utilizing these because we're not getting precision hits and stuff like that. And this one here, from Whence You Came, I believe that this is also going to be a huge one. Increases ability damage to Taken and score on combatants. And I believe Kalli is classed as Taken. Is she not? Of course she is. So this one's massive. Make sure you've got these mods on. So those are the mods, right? Revitalize and Blast is going to offer you the debuff. It says with a solo ability, weaken champions and bosses, right? And then we're going to pair all of that, not to mention solo operators giving you 15% extra damage stacking with everything. You're going to use the Sunbraces setup that I've used in previous videos. So these stats seem odd, but this is my Last Wish armor set build type thing for when I'm doing Kalli Farm, right? Because it's all got Transcendent Blessings on. Now, how do you get Transcendent Blessings? Well, you get that via the offering to the Oracle quest via Blind Well. You get a bounty, then you do the bounty with a tincture Queen's foil bottle to get these. You don't need them, not this season. You might need them in future seasons though, because things change over time with the game. Transcendent Blessing will basically add to you 5% extra damage. So I've got 5 on, right? So that's 25 total. So I'm going to do massive damage. But I killed Kalli that quick that I probably wouldn't have needed these mods and I would have still got it done. So helmet, double heavy ammo finder doesn't matter. This matters. Double momentum transfer, a solo loader, I suppose I've got that on. The momentum transfers are what's helping you getting your melee back when you're doing your grenade and your melees. Double solar reserves helps out, so you may as well. You don't need resistance mods in this. Solar scarf, strand scarf, because we're just matching our weapon types. And double outreach for when we use our class ability as an emergency to get our melee back. We then go to the fragments. So Well Radiance, of course, you don't need to use Dawn Chorus, but we could, and it would melt her, now thinking of it, if we wanted to, where you could do a swap, hot swap, and go off that to then Dawn Chorus. That is a thing that you could do, but I didn't do that in this run. I used Phoenix Dive, because you don't need Heal and Rift for this. Incinerator Snap. Celestial Fire does now work with Sunbracer builds, so if you want to use that over Incinerator Snap, then you can. Obviously, you need Solar Grenade on. Heat Rises, Touch of Flame, Fragments were as follows: Ember of Eruption, Ashes, Torches, Searing. Combining with that with obviously all our mods, right? Which I've just went through all of that. Powerful Traction didn't make an impact. So weapons, I discovered that after doing this, the only thing I needed was Dragon's Breath on my Sunbracers. My weapons didn't matter at all, but I did have them on for backup. Just went double fusion with Take and Spec in, but it didn't even matter. I could have ran double primary and still done this completion. But as a safety net, if you haven't got Transcendent Blessings on your armor, then you might want to have some backup DPS options in your energy slots. But other than that was the build, and obviously a high spec for melee for obvious reasons with Sunbracers. So that was the setup. So I've explained this before, but I'll re-explain it for people who misunderstand how this works. You need to put damage over time on Kalli to keep her in place. Before her shield goes down, you want to melee her with Necrotic Grips on the Warlock. Or you can use Witherhoard or Anarchy. They also work, but they work sometimes not as consistent. Then we'll swap off to Sunbracers, then activate a plate of your choice. Whatever plate you activate is where Kalli will end up being. We then want to pop a well and get a nade down on Kalli as soon as she spawns in. That is critical. And a Dragon's Breath shot. Because of how Dragon's Breath works, it's basically like Anarchy anyways, where it sticks to the boss. This will do damage over time in a sense and hold Kalli in place. We can then therefore do our Sunbracers setup, right, whilst going back and forth between the plate. We're stepping on plate still whilst throwing nades to spawn in extra Take and Thrall. We need to use the Take and Thrall to get a melee kill to then use our grenade abilities. Just look at the damage we're doing, because we're actually doing more damage than we ever have done to Kalli, because we are debuffing Kalli via Revitalize and Blast. Plus we've got Solo Operator. So this literally opens up. You could do this with blue weapons. You could probably do this with blue weapons. Just putting it out there. So that's how you basically do it. And then just every now and then use a Dragon's Breath shot. You don't even need to use any other weapons. I didn't even have time to use my fusion rifle because the boss was dead by then. Right. The only danger of this is that where Dragon's Breath can actually kill you because you take self-inflict damage. It's down to final stand, so we had at least another 10 to 15 seconds of damage. But that was that. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.